2.61. It is a one kind of format. It is a video compression standard defined by the ITU-T for the provision of video telephony video conferencing services in the ISDN network. The standard assumes the network offers a transmission channel of multiple of 64 kbps. The standard is also known as 64 P into 64, where P can be through the 1 to 30. The digitization format is used either in the common intermediate format CIF or quarter CIF, QCIF. Normally CIF is used for video conferencing and QCIF is used for the video telephone call. Each frame is divided into macro blocks and the horizontal resolution is reduced from 360 to 352 pixels in order to produce the integral numbers of 22 macro blocks. Since both formats using the subsampling of the two chrominance signal at the off rate that is used in the luminance signal, and the progressive scanning is used with the frame refresh of 30 fps for CIF and 7.5 fps for QCIF. Only I and P frames are used with the 3 P frames between the I frames. So encoding the each 6 of 8 cross 8 pixel blocks makes the macro blocks of I and P frames of the 4 blocks, and Y and CB and CBR are carried out. Here the address is identification purpose. Address is used for the identification purpose, and type is indicates the whether the macro block has been encoded independently or intra-coded or with reference to the macro block. The quantization value is the threshold value that has been used to quantize the DCT. The motion vector has encoded vector if 1 present. The coded block patient indicates which of the 6 or 8 cross 8 pixels block that break up with the macro block are present. This is the format of the thing. So start code, the picture start code indicates the start of the each new encoded video frame. Temporal reference field which is the time stamp to enable the decoder to synchronize the each video, and we have a picture type. So the picture type will give the indicates the whether the frame is I frame or B frame. So the encoding operation is carried out on individual macro blocks. The larger data structure is known as group of blocks or otherwise macro blocks, GOB. Also defined in this manner. 11 cross 3 macro blocks are the size that has been chosen for the CIF format and QCIF format. So QCIF in the sense it is 1 cross 3 and CIF in the sense 2 cross 3 interworking between the two frames. At the head of the GOB, the unique start code is chosen. The valid sequence variable length code from the table code words used in the entropy encoding stage. In the event of transmission error affecting the GOB, the decoder may simply search the received bit stream, that is we call it as a resynchronization marker. Each GOB has a group number associated with it which allows the string of a GOB to be missing from the particular frame. This may be necessary, for example, if the amount of information to be transmitted is temporarily greater than the bandwidth in the transmission channel. The motion estimation and the amount of information produced during the compression operation. However, the transmission bandwidth that is available with the target application standard is fixed as 64 kbps or multiples of this order in order to optimize the use of the bandwidth. It is necessary to convert the variable bitrate produced by the basic encoder to constant bitrate. This is first achieved by first passing the encoder bitstream output by encoder through the first in first out but buffer prior to the being transmitted, and then it is provided with the feedback path from this quantizer. So here role of the FIFO buffer is the output bitrate by the encoder is determined, and the quantization threshold values are used. Higher the threshold level, lower the accuracy, so lower is the output bitrate. The same compression technique is used for the macro-blacks video encoder. It is possible to obtain the constant output bitrate. The FIFO buffer, the name itself, in order to output the FIFO buffer is the same as the input. It makes the output rate from the buffer as a constant determined. Conversely, if the input rate falls below the output rate, then the buffer contents will decrease. In order to exploit the property of the two threshold level, low threshold level, high threshold level, the amount of information in the buffer is continuously monitored. Should the contents fall below or low threshold, the quantization threshold is reduced, thereby increasing the output rate from the encoder. Conversely, it should contents increasing beyond the threshold, then the quantization threshold is increased in order to reduce the output rate from the encoder. Normally, control procedure operates GOB level rather than the macro black level. Hence, it should be high threshold be reached. The first quantization value associated with the GOB is increased. If this is not sufficient, GOB is dropped until the overload subsides. In addition, the standard allows the complete frames to be missing in order to match the frame. The general implementation is like this.